we will hear from Deputy Assistant Secretary Bill Guidera from the Department of Commerce.
It's that blend of private sector perspective and public leadership skills that really position him to advance U.S. policy objectives while supporting American firms that are competing globally. He and his team are also advancing U.S. leadership on AI, working to help U.S. innovation scale globally while promoting open, predictable, and pro-innovation policy environments across the globe. Deputy Assistant Secretary, we're really looking forward to your insights on the department's work. As Christy noted, we are glad you could join us on such a busy day for the department, but everyone please join me in welcoming the Deputy Assistant Secretary to the stage.
Deputy Assistant Secretary, wow. Just call me Bill. Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate that very much. And let me thank CSI for having me here. It's a pleasure to be with many friends and peers and associates. It's really a pleasure to be here. One of the fun things about the job, there's a lot of weird things about the job, and some of them are fun. A lot of times they make people come in and you walk away from the meeting thinking I'm taller, less gray, funnier, and smarter than I thought I was. And then Christy comes in and she like brings it, right? Like you always have a great question, a great comment, and you like cut right to the core of it. And it actually makes you bring your A game. And I just really appreciate you as an advocate for this organization, which is a special organization, and just the honesty and candor and direct nature you bring to your advocacy. It really makes a difference. I was on your side of the table with the rest of you for most of my career, 26, 27 years doing this public affairs and government affairs business. And it means I know how you all think, and I want to hear from you, and I want it candid, right? It's one of the things I love about Christy. I hear it straight, and it's incredibly helpful. And I know that we use associations in different ways, right? I know why God created associations. It's to say things that I, as a company person, don't want to say. Right. And I am wide open to that. Right. So you all may come in and see us and tell us, how tall and smart and handsome we are. But I know that I want you to go to your association, whether it's Christie or another, and say, like, here's the stupid stuff we're doing. Right. Here's the things that we want a different angle on. Or maybe you shouldn't go this way. You should go that way instead. And if you bring it yourself, that's great. If you want to do it through your association, that's fine. But we need your candid input and candid feedback so we can get to the right policy outcomes to support our friends in industry. So thank you for being here. Thank you for having me. I'm going to go through just a few things. First off, I've got a few of my colleagues here. Theo, Andrew, and Ahmad over here. They're all fabulous leaders on our team. Raise your hands, guys. Make sure you see them with any additional questions or comments. We've got some industry ITA veterans here as well. And it's just really a pleasure to serve the Republic and do so with a bunch of incredible thinkers who are patriotic and altruistic and in this for the right business, for the right reasons, both on the political side and the career side. We've got a fabulous team. So I sit as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Services. And when the job was offered, they're like, your job's easy. You got a surplus. All the guys in mining and manufacturing and supply chains, they got to work hard. I just show up and smile a lot because I got data like this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. U.S. service exports totaled $1.234 trillion in 2025. We probably stole that data from you. We recorded a $339 billion services trade plus in 2025, and we increased our exports and services by $82 billion in 2025. Services is a growth industry. It's awesome. Like, you're doing it. Keep doing it. And now let's learn lessons from services and export that to other industry sectors. I also sit as the Acting Assistant Secretary for Industry and Analysis, another title. And over that, I have the opportunity to work with our Deputy Assistant Secretaries for Manufacturing, for Mining, Critical Minerals, Tourism, and Supply Chain. And we've got some fabulous professionals there. And this is an integrated Commerce Department ITA that's working well. So much so that my boss, Undersecretary William Kimmett, gave remarks just last week. He discussed what we call trade over aid. And that is sort of the intellectual approach to how we are looking at trade within the Department of Commerce. This is an initiative that advances the practical and needed vision for economic development. And it's about other nations as much as it is about us. The message is not that a country should simply declare itself open for business and expect exports to follow from abstract principles and that growth will simply organically take place. Instead, it's that sovereign nations need to build the coalitions for growth, for a free market, for the rule of law, for a workforce that is in a position to prosper, and that together we can grow economies. It's not us simply saying you have to do it this way. Other nations, our receiving nations, need to understand some of the core principles that have made us an extraordinary nation. And we want to help them figure that out. We engage, we talk, we meet. And our team will work directly with other nations to help them as they craft legislation, to help them craft policies, help them work with us on trade deals, to get to a place where our core principles are part of their approach as well. Because we believe in markets, we believe in the rule of law, and we believe in the power of free people to grow and prosper. It is our philosophy within this administration that we are undeniably America first. We think first and foremost about American companies, American workers, and American growth. But it's not in isolation. We're an integrated world. And we need to think about how our partners are with us in this. And it is not an exclusivity in America first. It is an openness to working with others. It means we approach the world with clarity about our interests and confidence in our values, and a determination to build partnerships that are strong, fair, transparent, and lasting. And to build trade agreements that have enforcement mechanisms that are known as well, also transparent, used, and respected. And we've had that mindset for a very, very long time. Years and years ago, I worked for a governor who was an advocate for NAFTA, and I went to the White House and we talked about NAFTA. We supported it, and we made assumptions about enforcement. Another time in my career, I was involved with a company where a very notorious CEO of our company endorsed WTO's addition of China to their membership. And we made assumptions about what enforcement would be like and how it would practice and how nations would rise to our level. And some of those some of those assumptions weren't always true. They didn't always work out the way we wanted. And what this administration is about in trade over aid is making sure we get to level playing fields in which enforcement is understood, followed, and respected. And we think we've made a lot of progress. It was really interesting to hear Ambassador Schweitzer earlier today talk about his world tour. He's doing extraordinary work. I respect US. We work very closely with USTR. My team is integrated with what they do. And that was really quite a world tour he gave us. And I respect him tremendously for the work Ambassador Greer and Ambassador Schweitzer, Ambassador Getman, and others are doing over there. So that's a little bit of trade over aid. It's a slight shift in terms of how we approach things. It's not a dependency, it's commerce. And it's not a one-way transfer, it's a mutual benefit. And we think we can grow together. And that infuses all that we do across international trade at the Department of Commerce. I'm going to switch gears. We'll talk a little bit about AI, privacy, and trust. And I'll get the heck out of your way. I'm probably in that terrible spot. You know, it's nice to have a coffee break where you get a little caffeine and sugar. But it's 2:30. Like, let's go. We got stuff to do. And by the way, your cookies, like I've been doing these meetings for my entire career. I mean, there's a really important thing in a meeting like this, cookie quality. Christy, you're on it. I'll come back to your meeting anytime. Let's talk about AI. There's a number of you have heard me speak about this before. It's a major initiative at the U.S. Department of Commerce. The president launched his executive order on artificial intelligence to promote the exportation of it last summer, and we are in the process live in implementing it. It is very real. Tiffany, where's Tiffany? Tiffany and I were just talking about what AI means as countries adopt it and the importance and need for people to recognize that this is not going to be reined in easily. It is incredibly dynamic technology that allows you to access, adapt, and utilize information in ways we simply haven't had the ability to do so before. And so we were talking about, I've been in a number of settings where I'll sit with ministers from a variety of countries. And there's a portion of them that look with fear in their eyes as they think about AI. And then there's another portion that look with opportunistic eyes towards what the future can be if they embrace AI. What they have in mind, I'm fairly certain, is the guy to my right fears this stuff. I'm going to embrace it, and we're going to increase our growth rate, and we're going to pass them in the global economy. And that's an opportunity we all have. And it fits all of the different subsector industries within this room: insurance benefits, credit cards benefit. One of you came into my office not too long ago and said, we've been using AI for 30 years to find fraud on our network. It's an epiphany. I was like, all right, of course. It taught me a lot. I was like, this isn't new. This is the latest iteration of a technological evolution we've had over several decades. And so I appreciate that and respect it. So this is clearly an opportunity of historic proportions that can increase productivity in so many different sectors: hospitals, insurance, financial services. My team is deeply involved in fintech. I think I gave remarks this morning or yesterday on digital currencies at Select USA. We're all about it, and AI infuses every different subsector, including these. But again, this is not going to happen automatically. This requires so many elements of the economy for us to embrace and prosper through artificial intelligence. My teammates who are involved in mining are part of AI. Those critical minerals and rare earths are essential to it. My teammates who are involved in manufacturing policy, absolutely essential to AI, right? Especially if you're thinking about what I think is very much so AI, drones and robots. Supply chain. We have a few offices in our team that just focus on supply chains. Essential, right? How do I get those minerals and rare earths to A, be pulled out of the earth, B, processed, C, delivered to the manufacturing plants where we want them to go into our devices? These things are all deeply integrated. And so we think very deeply about all that, and we work across the board at ITA to do so. Our program on AI is live. AIexports.gov is your favorite website. AIexports.gov. It'll lay out 2 pathways for you to be involved to get a designation as a consortia of USAI. The first one, which is active today, of an application period that'll close June 30th, is for a full stack, 5 layers of a USAI stack. It's got some variation in that for national champions and certain target markets. But take a look at the website. We have a Federal Register notice out, and we are already receiving applicants for folks who wish to be designated as a USAI stack. And if designated, priority treatment will follow from our friends at the Bureau of Industry and Security, as well as from financing agencies like DFC and Exim. Our hope is that our technology, US technology, can be deployed as a foundational layer for the information technology evolution that we are in today. Back to what Jennifer Sanford was saying from Cisco, trust is an essential part of that, and we are trying to put a stamp of trustworthiness on that technology. And so look at that application, see if you are interested. If you can build a consortia, send in your paperwork, we'll process it. We're doing it real time. And the Secretary will make those designations later this year. The second pathway will be launched sometime soon, and that's a little more targeted, a little more demand-driven. If we find that, or you find, that a nation looks to procure AI for a certain sector, let's just say their Department of Treasury, their Department of Education, and they only need a minimal layer of it, like 2 or 3 layers of artificial intelligence, say a networking layer, a cybersecurity layer, an application layer. We're going to create a little more agile program called On-Demand Consortia, where one can apply, aimed at that demand function that's been identified either by the buyer or a seller. And we will try to be a matchmaker to help connect you to those in government in particular and the private sector who wish to procure your technology. That will launch shortly. Both of those are on the website. It's a different element of AI, which I think is super important, and that's privacy and trust. Jennifer was talking about it in that last panel, along with Ahmad and others, their co-panelists. This is really important, right? What we are hearing is folks asking a question: can I trust this technology? We're hearing that in many other countries, right? It's coming up. It's not the first time. And oftentimes the question is being asked because they want the question out there. It's not so much about the answer. It's just putting into question the trustworthiness of what you do. And we have seen this before, and I encourage each and all of us to work together to market the trustworthiness of our stuff and make it clear to prospective buyers that you have done all the things you need to do to build technology that's highly reliable, usable, private, safe, and secure. We will work together with you on that, and we complement that through a couple programs that are run out of my office. Privacy, safety, and security are obviously closely interlinked. So we have two privacy programs that I encourage you to embrace if you haven't, and to help us extend, if you will. One is the data privacy framework. This serves Europe, including Switzerland and the UK, and is a certification program, if you will. 5,600 US entities are subscribing to this, are members of it. And it indicates that you are doing the things to be acknowledged as a service that is providing privacy and safety rules of the road for your customer data, so it can be shared across the Atlantic. My team runs that. They're actually at Select USA today, handing out flyers, trying to get more people to sign up. Of note, there's litigation pending in the European Union courts, which puts this program into question. And we have won the first round on that litigation. The DOJ is the attorney on behalf of the U.S. government, of course, and that's under appeal today. We remain optimistic about the prospects of that, but one never knows. And so for those of you who have European colleagues, we encourage you to do what you can in the public affairs space to promote the data privacy framework and let people around you know how much this program is valued and how it's important to your business. So hope you sign up, and then hope you promote the value of this program. The other is the global cross-border privacy rules, in many ways invented by one of my teammates, and actively being promoted. And this is essentially the privacy rules that are outside of Europe. And we've got a whole lot of activity going on there. We were talking about arts before. There is arts language that includes references to the global cross-border privacy rules. And that's a way of taking some of what we are doing in privacy and putting it into trade deals. We think that's the right next step, and we encourage you to support that move. These things are really important in the AI space because we do have to build trust. We do have to help our customers understand that this is a reliable technology that can help increase productivity and also is almost certainly more secure than what you're using today. And that's part of the evolution in tech. We've seen it over and over again. Why do we have automatic updates of our operating systems in our office suites? Because that's a great way to make sure your stuff is up to date on safety and security and privacy. We upgrade to the new iterations of AI. It's an important way to stay safe, secure, and private. And we've got great partnerships with companies that are talking with us about things that they see in the marketplace where privacy needs to be addressed, safety needs to be addressed, security. And you've seen some of that in the news of late. So that's a bit of a roundhouse on what we are doing at ITA under Secretary Kimmett and Secretary Lutnick, who are all very passionate about these issues and very committed to what our team is doing. In closing, I'll just say this. We're here for you, right? Some of you heard me say this. I first lobbied the Commerce Department in 1999. It's my first stop when I go to the federal government more often than not. This is an office that is here to support our industry partners and to be your advocate within the department and within the government. We aren't always your regulator. Right? My team doesn't regulate insurance, but we spend a whole heck of a lot of time thinking about insurance policy and what should be in nation states' laws in a trade deal on insurance or financial services or software or hardware. We are a policy shop, and our door's open to you. We love to hear from you. We love the candor that we get from our industry colleagues. And we welcome any encouragement, direction, and guidance you have for us. We want to be a shield and a sword for you where we can be, and our door remains open at all times. So I'd like to thank my teammates for getting me ready for these remarks, and it's so pleasurable to be with so many friends and peers and compatriots as we do this work. Last thing I'll say, thanks for letting me serve. Real privilege. Thanks.